let's talk about one of my very favorite mushrooms, and if you've been following me for a while, this will not surprise you, the death cap mushroom. So this is the death cap mushroom, and it looks just like a mushroom. You would not, looking at this, think, yep, that is one of, if not the most toxic mushrooms in the entire world. This mushroom is so toxic and so hard to treat and so effective that it has been used in quite a number of assassinations of some pretty important people, including a couple Roman emperors and, allegedly, at least one pope. And annually, at least in the United States, there's at least one person who dies from confirmed death cap mushroom poison. So, most of the poisons are accidental due to misidentification of this mushroom because it's a pretty generic looking mushroom and can often get confused with other mushrooms that are actually edible. So most of the times when people get poisoned by this, it is an accident due to just misidentification, errors, all that. So there are quite a few toxic compounds in this, and most of them are cytotoxic, meaning that they will just kill your cells. And poisonings from this mushroom comes from eating it, and none of the compounds actually get broken down by cooking like a bunch of other toxic compounds can. So if you cook it, it will not help with the poison. Now, reportedly, people who have been poisoned with the death cap mushroom say it tastes really good, but it is not worth it. It's not worth it. Now, this mushroom really is very, very good at poisoning you. The dosage is like half of a mushroom cap. That's enough. That'll do it. Like, eating half of this mushroom cap and you're pretty much out. The symptoms of this are also delayed, so after ingesting this mushroom, you won't notice right away that you ate a super toxic one instead of a regular edible one. So by the time the symptoms start appearing and you're like, uh-oh, something's wrong, it is likely too late. The first set of symptoms to appear are gastrointestinal, so you have cramps, general stomach pain, coupled with nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea, so oops, we ate something. Then come the more fun one, in which your organs stop working, largely the liver, which can lead to like overall liver failure, but also like things like jaundice, delirium, again, more diarrhea and stomach issues, as well as on the more severe side of symptoms, it can lead to seizures and a coma. As symptoms progress, they get quite a bit more severe, involving kidney and liver damage, as well as it messes with your blood's ability to coagulate, so blood clots will not form and you bleed a lot easier. Sometimes there's internal bleeding or intracranial bleeding, so in your brain, which is not where we want bleeding to be. Can also lead to, as well as the seizures and coma, you can get cardiac arrest from it. And like I said before, the symptoms don't start appearing right away. It takes a couple days after eating the mushrooms for the symptoms to start, and then they increase in severity over a course of like 6 to 16 days, depending on the individual and how much of the mushroom that they ate. So, currently there's no antidote to death cap poisoning, and treatment just involves things like supportive therapy, so staying hydrated, keeping nutrients in, as well as dealing with the symptoms of seizures, cardiac arrest, kidney failure, just supporting your organs who are doing their very best to die right now. Now, if you notice symptoms and get to the hospital in time, then the death rate is between 10 and 30%, which is quite high. If you don't go to the hospital right away and the more severe symptoms start to develop, then the death rate is a lot higher, but with prompt, very quick medical treatment, it is quite a bit more likely you will survive. The symptoms are not a fun time, but if you get treated quickly enough, you likely will survive just after a bad couple days. So, moral of the story, don't eat a mushroom unless you are 1000% sure what it is. Because this is not an eating mushroom at all.